Concluding sentences. Concluding sentences are an essential part. There's the three parts: the topic sentence, the concluding sentence. The trick is, how to write an attractive concluding sentence. Anybody can write a concluding sentence because I've written this stuff up from yesterday. One of the easiest ways is just to say the same thing, you moving your words around, which is maybe more difficult for you, but for a native speaker, it's pretty easy. Just use some similar words, and that's it. So, UD, return. Can you read at the top of the page, 48?
Yes. For concluding sentences, usually the last sentence in a paragraph. The sentence tells the reader it is the end of the paragraph. The concluding sentence and the topic sentence are similar. They are both general sentences.
You should keep going.
You can write the concluding sentence like the topic sentence, but use different words. You can summarize the main points in the paragraph. Many concluding sentences begin with one of these phrases. In conclusion and summary.
What do you think of those two choices? In summary or in conclusion?
I think they are it's neat to use these words and
They're what?
they're neat.
They're needed, they're necessary. You have to use them.
I think so.
You can't use any other words?
You can, but these are the most typical ones that you can
Okay,
use.
that's a better way of expressing it. I think that might be, the sort of standard, right? Standard. You get the same thing when you're trying to link words. You tend to say the same things often, right? However, right? If you want to express something, a different opinion, you say however, right? Standard. It's fine. Nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't. What we call standard English doesn't have a whole lot of flavor or diversity. It's just basically do it this way and don't develop any style. If you were writing a paragraph that was scientific, in conclusion would be a great choice, or in summary, right? After you gathered all your data and you made you put everything together, then that would be the appropriate thing, right? But there's other possibilities too, which I would encourage you to use, because I don't think very many of you do we have any scientists in the room? Engineers, scientists, business, only English majors? All of you are English literature? You are not. I've asked you this before, I think. What is your major? Agriculture. So you might like to use these words. If you're talking about something technical or something practical, but if you're not talking about that, or you're talking about, let's say you're a scientist, but you're talking about the future. One of my favorite colleagues, I guess you could say, he used to be my student, but he's a KAIST professor now. He's a futurist. That's his job, futurist. That's it. What does that mean? You're a futurist. Have you ever heard of it before? No? Don't want to? Don't want to know about it? Does it sound interesting or not? Okay, Yin Yang, what do you think?
Sounds interesting.
It sound to me too. When it was before COVID, 5 years ago or something. I was introduced to him because he was applying for various jobs. He had a job he was originally a journalist, which is interesting. I don't know how he got into so much science, but his first job was a journal. He was a journalist, but it was a journal about future technology, right? So he was a writer, but a kind of inventor or visionary at the same time. So he was trying to look for a better job, and he wanted to go to San Francisco, to Silicon Valley, like all people who want to make money and are good at computers want to do, right? So he paid me a lot of money because it was difficult. But I got paid to coach him, to prepare his interview and improve check his writing, and he had to do all these applications, and he failed to get into the Silicon Valley company, and he failed to get into the cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin. There was a Bitcoin exchange, the one he was going to work for, failed at that, but finally he succeeded and became a professor at KAIST. Yeah, would it be better to say something like the importance of your idea, or the relevance of your idea, or the prediction of the future, what this technology is going to be used for? I'm just saying, it depends on the topic, but if you're talking about the future, if you're talking about things and making arguments, he basically had to do that. When he was preparing his writing, he had to say, I have an idea, this is a crazy idea, but in 10 years, this will make $1 billion, right? Like Elon Musk, this is the kind of stuff. Elon Musk wouldn't say, in summary, Tesla, right? It's not the right term. So it is, I agree, it's necessary for learning the structure, and it's useful and it's basic, but there's other choices, right? If you want to say emphasize something or say something else, there's other choices. But maybe the futurist himself would prefer those words, and that was one of the things that was so important. He had to make documents and statements, and then the company had to review them and decide if his idea was good enough or had enough evidence or planning. It's very difficult. So if somebody asks you to do that, you get paid a lot of money as a kind of futurist counselor. Not for very long, like 3 months, but it was a good part-time job. The best part-time job I've ever had, actually, because of the money. But his technology was, I don't know if it'll happen, but if it does happen, you'll know he was my student. He had a driverless car, right? But robots and driverless cars usually get vandalized or have problems with human beings, like being curious or disliking them, right? Not accepting them. So what he did is he put a screen where the person's head was, and there was a screen of a face. It could be your face, right? In the driver's seat. So it looked from the window, from outside, that there was a human driving a driverless car. That was one of he had many crazy ideas, but it was one, which I thought was maybe, I don't know. Don't ask me, ask Hyundai. Ask Hyundai to do it, right? That's the kind of thing. So you do have choices. There are different ways of ending it. Just make sure, as we're going to see in the next paragraph, make sure that it all comes back, right? The idea comes back to the beginning. So,
yes.
You read about a specialty in my country. So that's page 49. Yeah.
The people in my country make a special dish from the aizut flower, which is delicious tree. The flower grows on top of a beautiful tree. You can see these trees in the gardens of houses. You can also buy aizut flowers in the market. The best time for the flower is the summer. From the flowers, we make a special dish that we eat almost every week in summer. To prepare this dish, we boil the petals of the flower in water with salt and garlic. Then we take out the petals and add them to beaten eggs. We fry this mixture like an omelette. When it is ready, we eat it with tomato sauce. The isot flour is a special flour in my country.
Good reading. And what is your opinion about that paragraph?
I think this is very interesting article.
You think so? Why?
Because people eat flour with many ingredients and they think it is delicious, so they re-eat too again and again.
Mm-hmm. So you think it's a unique food because it's flowers that you
Yes,
eat?
I think.
That's an interesting answer. Do we eat other flowers too? We do, but not often in Korea. Do you know what a zucchini is? Zucchini? Zucchini. Is my pronunciation bad? Let me take my mask off. Zucchini. Zucchini in English. Zucchini, you know. Those flowers are delicious. Yeah. I didn't know until I had too many zucchinis and I was like, I don't know what to do with all these flowers. And my friend said, eat them. And they're really good. But yeah, that's a good, it's unfamiliar. That is the most, I think, one of the most attractive things about just writing descriptively about information. This thing doesn't fall down. That we would just learn something we don't know, something unfamiliar, right? This is not like exotic in a negative way. It's exotic in an interesting way. It's a little bit more appropriate than having pictures of certain people eating caterpillars, stuff like that, right? Anything else? I mean, these paragraphs are supposed to be basic. You're supposed to be doing, when you write your paper, one of the reasons that I wanted to talk about this to you before you finish your paper completely is that, you know, yours is a couple pages long. This one's not even, it's a third of a page, right? So you gotta, what's missing here? What is the problem with, how can we improve? There's some good things and bad things about it. Sung-Yang already said something good. There's interesting information. Yeah. Come on, speak up. Everybody's going to know that I always have to yell my students' names so they say something. There's nothing. You guys are going to do badly on the test. There's nothing you can find. Hyungja. Where's Hyungja? Hyungja? Not here? Am I picking the wrong person? Or saying the wrong name? This is the wrong. Everybody's just looking and this is the wrong attendance. Sorry. Like, no wonder I can't find anybody's name. Okay, Hyungju. Hyungju. Your turn. What do you think about the paragraph? Good thing or bad thing? Doesn't matter. It's not a terrible paragraph. I didn't say that. Tell me why. That's the most important thing. I know you're gonna hate me by the end of the semester. Always saying that, but I will. Humming?
Yes.
What do you think?
Mm, I think this normal paragraph not good or not bad. Just he say the writer say he like the isote flower and explain it. Normally just I think just sentence. Special explain one thing or. Mm.
Yeah, I think there definitely needs to be more detail or support. It's just, I think you're getting close to the best thing, the best way on a test or an exam, or if you want to give somebody feedback. If I write this, you can say to me, Jeremy, this is very general information, right? Like Sung said, the good point is he's never heard of it. It's okay. But I still don't know what it is at the end of the paragraph. I still don't get it, right? Unless you look at the picture, that's cheating. Look at the picture and it says it's from Central and South America. Well, why don't they say people in Brazil? Who's my country? And who are you? There's no context, right? You don't have to write from a Korean perspective if you don't want to, right? When you write your paper, you don't have to say, I'm Korean or I'm talking about Korean. You can talk about anything, but you should give some context. This is literally could be any country in the world. That's not good enough. Got to narrow it down somehow. The topic sentence is the people in my country make a special dish from the ezote flower, which is delicious to eat. And the ezote flower is a special flower in my country. What about that? Who haven't I picked on yet? Chaeyoung. Again, there's good things and bad things about this. This is more like a really standard, like Yudi said, it's very standard, basic, necessary style. But it's just that. It's too simple. And is it the topic sentence and the concluding sentence, they match, but they match in the most simplest possible way, like I said. That's why in conclusion or in summary, just restate, in this case, restate it in a simpler way, right? The concluding sentence is even simpler. And you don't want to get a new idea. You don't want to end and say, I want to talk about a different flower. It's even more delicious from Canada. You're not going to do that. Or compare something or add any more information, but just simply repeating a really general observation without any context. It's not from Brazil. We need to know some more information about it, right? Why it's special, that the people respect it. There's a lot more there that could be there. So when you do your paper, you got to make sure that you don't generalize. And that's the beginning. You don't have to, you can have one paragraph or you can have 3, 4, but you just have to remember the beginning and the end of each paragraph should be related somehow to the topic. Okay? Don't forget that. Right? And there's a paragraph outline on page 51, which you can use or not. It's up to you. But at the top, there's a beginning, the beginning of an answer. Kelly, can you read that at the top? Yes, then the blue. At page 51, everybody, okay? Yep.
In my country, Korea, we eat in sprout soup in the morning, usually every day. You make it with water, and beans sprout. People all the ingredients in the water for 5 minutes. People eat this because it's cheap, healthy, and easy to make.
Yeah. So, how are we doing in that paragraph? One of the boys maybe go on. You're sorry. Go on. Can you answer anyway, even though I made my mistake? Just yeah. What do you think about the writing? It's not a paragraph, right? It's this is how to develop a paragraph, right? We haven't done very much of this, but after you give your papers in next week, we will do some more paragraph writing for practice. But it's hard, honestly, it's hard to teach you everything without you actually doing a paragraph and giving it to me and me saying what you need to work on, right? Because if you just practice and I walk around and say, oh, find little things, it's different. You got to take a risk, right? That's the way you got to do your best and give it to me, and then I have to check it, and I have to tell you, what things you're missing. But this is some kind of strategy to prepare to write a paragraph, right? So what do you think so far? Yes, that's right. Of course, it's unfinished. So these sentences are starting, and if you get to the concluding sentence and you think, you look back to the topic sentence and you think your topic sentence isn't matching, isn't really your supporting sentence, your idea changed a little bit, you should go back and fix it. Like, that's fine. Nothing wrong. You don't have to, once you get a topic sentence, it doesn't mean you have to follow. That's one thing that sometimes people get stuck in English too. You have an idea and you try to develop the idea and it just doesn't work, so you just delete the whole thing and start again. Or that's not the best way. The best way is just to say, oh, I have a different idea, go back to the beginning, change the topic sentence, and then keep going. It happens to me all the time. Happened to me on Monday when I was struggling to do my essay for my PhD class. Changed my idea as I was writing, and I didn't get my grade, so I don't know. We'll see. If I get an A+, then I'll show it to you. If I get a B+, I will not. Okay? That's it. Simple? Okay. Sorry, one thing, one thing I've mentioned again and again is if you say in my country, Korea, we eat bean sprout, there's also the thing you should consider is you are a writer and you're writing for a reason, like I emphasized many times, talking about whole food. There has to be a reason for it. So who are you? You're a Korean university student, and who are you writing for? Are you writing for me? You are? That's nice. You should write me a letter then. Not a paper. Who are you writing for? Who's your audience? John, who is she beside you? I keep forgetting. Are you Sungju? Sungju. You are writing for me because I'm the professor and I gave you the topic and I'm going to grade you. But that's not the point. That's not the point of my class. It might be the point of don't get me wrong, if a Korean literature professor says, write to me exactly the way I want, then do that. Don't listen to me. But in my case, I'm not really the object of I'm not the real audience, right? If you're talking about, we talked about a bunch of things yesterday. I don't want to give anybody's topic away because I heard some good ones. But avocado. We're talking about the avocado. Are you trying to sell me avocados? Are you trying to prove to me not to be an avocado farmer because it's bad for the environment? Are you trying to tell me that avocado is the most essential Mexican food and the most delicious thing in the universe? You're not telling that to me. I don't know who you're telling it to, but the general public, your classmates, people your age, you know, the media, the internet, not just me. So remember, another thing is you have readers. Your readers, and you know, of course, this assignment is just for me. I'm not gonna show it to everybody or anything, but basically the intention is that you would be able to write for a larger audience, right? And spread your ideas, not just to individuals who are telling you to do something for homework, right? Keep that in mind. So who are you writing for? You don't have to say I, though. You never, like I said, you don't have to say, use the word I, because it's assumed, right? I don't have to say, in my country, Korea, we eat bean soup. I can just say, in Korea, people eat bean soup, right? And that's not going to change, it's not going to turn it into a fact. It's still in the morning, usually every day, but there should be some reason. What's the reason? It comes a little bit later. What should really happen here is the fourth sentence should be attached to the topic sentence, right? It should take out in my country, should just say Korea, in Korea, people eat bean sprout soup in the morning, usually every day, because you can just take people out it, take out the redundant words, because it is cheap, healthy, and easy to make. Boom. That's a topic sentence. There you go. That's a perfect topic sentence, right? It's got some context, it's got a main idea, and it's got a controlling idea. Okay? That's what all you have to do. And sometimes when you write, you realize, I gotta put these ideas together. And so you do. That's it. Okay. I'm gonna pause this crazy thing.